What up with it, y'all? It's Coffee. Back at it, man. Some classic footage right there. R.I.P. to the GOAT Tupac, man. Keefy D case dragging on. Comment what you think about the case. But how about what Daz Dillinger is saying here, man? Tupac loved Daz's music, and that's why they got bangers. You know, there was love, good vibes, love like pause. Like, don't, you know, it's crazy you gotta say that nowadays. The love of the music, right? They were in there just working. Legend has it, right? Ain't that the way the Pac story goes? As soon as he signed that death row deal, Shook post the appeal bail. He went out to the West Coast and got working with death row. Wasn't Daz the first, if I'm not mistaken, producer he was working with? And I want to know too, what does everyone think? Like, I remember, you guys remember that let's get ready to rumble, I can't deny it, I'm a straight body, you know, right? Remember Daz used that beat with Killer Cam on that Doug be on point, game tight, cop a brick and re-up in the same night, and to get that trife I flick that knife. Doggy dog, let me live my life. Killer, my ambitions is a killer. Yeah, Pox was his ambitions as a rider, and Killer Cam had ambitions as a killer. And I remember seeing people like tripping off that, just like how, remember Dr. Dre had Street Dreams. That was with Nas, right? But then that was also a beat with Pac, like beat recycled or whatever. What did y'all think about Killer Cam on that? What do you think about Daz Dillinger just as a producer, his beats, his music? You know, a lot of people be saying Daz be wilding on social network. We've seen him say and do some wild things. But man, he really made some heat in the booth. Like, wasn't it Snoop Dogg's project? Dr. Dre has the executive points on, producer points on the package and credits and all that, but a lot of it was really Daz, but they cut him a check and let Dre get his name on there, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Daz really just had his own sound and you know, was behind some legendary ish. And you know, here he is talking about Pac and his experience working with him. You see, he said Tupac loved Daz Dillinger music. You see how you dancing, bobbing his head. How he dancing, he put you, but I think he meant he dancing, bobbing his head. Yeah, West Coast. And what about the Daz to what is it, Dillinger and Machiavelli Don't Go to Sleep, the EP joint that I guess was never officially released. It was just kind of like put out on the internet that Daz obtained by just taking a bunch of reels from Death Row. That's wild. Daz did that, man. I remember hearing it get played on the underground hip hop station that I used to listen to dumb late in like 2002, man. It's just crazy, man. Does time fly? Hit the comments, share your thoughts, y'all,
about how you got your face slashed. Because you had slashed some dude already.
Yeah.
And the guy was a barber.
No, he wasn't a barber. I was in a barber chair.
You were in a barber chair?
Right. Yeah.
But the guy was there?
Yeah, he was there.
And you sat in that chair, and you said, this dude wouldn't think to retaliate against me because of who I am.
But no, because I felt like I underestimated him.
Right.
And I overestimated myself.
Exactly.
I told you that. Right.
Exactly.
But
he slashed your face.
Hold on, no flag. Since that happened to me, I've never in my life ever made that mistake again by underestimating another man.
Maino had to cut Vlad off for a second there. Vlad would be doing that, man. Cutting people off, or right? He's like, yo, hold on a second, Vlad. I overestimated me and underestimated him, and that's no good, man. You know, he got his dude ate his food in a barber chair up north. He learned his lesson, and you know, never was gonna get caught lacking like that again. Let me know if you ever had to learn a lesson like that the hard way.
Mayor's office, the state, Curtis and his team, all of us.
Over 2 years ago, when Curtis 50 Cent Jackson visited Shreveport, Louisiana, They say his vision never slowed down behind the scenes.
You know, he just completed the lease just now. That was a 2-year process. But the properties, we talk often, the whole team.
You mentioned that he is now the leader in owning the most properties in Shreveport.
Yes.
Is that, can we confirm that?
From what I've seen, a private property owner, I've been told by several sources that, yes, he is. We're in the range of 20 properties. And, you know, we just this week, we've secured some properties. So this week. So, and that's a process. That's been a 6-month process just to get us to where we are today with these properties.
With ownership of that magnitude comes responsibility. Contractors are already in place with work underway across several of the already purchased buildings.
Some of these buildings, I'm working with contractors right now. You know, they were the guys' inspections. We're working on that today.
Hall says Jackson already has boots on the ground.
And then we got 50 Cent, man, with the whole Shreveport thing. You see Fifth getting the buildings up to code. They finalized the leases. So that must mean that tax credit thing is going to go through. Like, I don't know what the holdup has been. Well, I know what the holdup, in my opinion, has been. That one politician, he wants his big bag of money that Fifth didn't give him, you know? Like, but that must be going through, or else I don't think Fifth would have been continuing to do. I mean, he probably still would have had a lot of the properties that he had there, but, you know, he would have had to move to another place that had the tax credits, I believe. I don't know. We'll have to see and wait on the update for that. But you see, amongst all the things he's building, one of them is going to be a sports/entertainment venue that's going to hold boxing matches, amateur basketball, all kinds of ish. So that should be lit, man. Fifth, the #1 private property owner in Shreveport. Maybe he's trying to become the unofficial mayor. The mayor loves Fifth. You know, it was that one, I think it was a state senator that was tripping off Fifth owning all this property and the tax credit thing, man. He just wanted his payday, man. But that's it for the news on this one. Let's talk in the comments, subscribe, and I'll get with you on the next one. Peace.